All right, Bilal Malas here. I am the head of client success and a partner at Lux Sales Consulting, and I'm joined by T today, a financial service professional, one of our great clients. And T is currently generating 5 qualified appointments per week. That's 20 appointments per month with advanced practice providers. She's at $55,000 in commissions in 45 days, primarily selling life insurance, long-term care, and annuities to advanced practice providers. She's bringing them tremendous value, and completely using our SLS framework. And T, thank you for joining me today. Mainly, this is a quick video update on your progress in our course and our SLS framework. If you can please tell us, your journey so far. Tell us about, that 45-day streak. And I know we have 11 days left in the year and business days left in the year. Tell us more about how kind of everything culminated for you to close those deals and those $55,000 in commissions. How was that whole process went for you, virtually? Tell us more about that.
Yeah. So, the last 45 days was just really amazing. It's a lot of the follow-up. Normally I would not even do the follow-up, but for whatever reason, I guess like with the holidays coming around, people were just looking at things and go, oh, I really should get my financial in order. But I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I do think that it's because of the fall, because I didn't do anything. And the reason why I haven't really done much is because there's a lot of personal issues. We have a death in the family. We have COVID.
When you say you didn't do anything, you mean you could have put more effort into the system, but even without as much effort, you got the results that you got.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I wasn't actively prospecting.
Yeah.
It was like things were done, things were already set up.
We're automated. Yeah. You set up the system so that whether or not you're there, the prospecting is happening in an automated fashion.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So things were already automated. And so it was just hard for me to kind of focus on what to do. And then we got COVID, and then I found out I got COVID again. So typically in this type of industry, we have to go out and meet with people to not only prospect, but to do business. But in this virtual environment, I'm so glad that I have the system that I was able to put it ahead of time. Even when I'm glad that I took the leap of faith and trust you guys, just because I don't know what I would have been or where would I have been without having the right system in place. Just like with these last 45 days, I was confined to a place. I could not meet with people.
Quarantine, yeah.
But like I was still doing my job without me doing my job. And I basically have the best assistant ever, right? Because it does the job without complaining and all the time on cue. So that's, to me, was very awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I didn't really have a lot of appointments. I have about probably 5 appointments a week. A lot of them I do have to constantly have to reschedule them because I didn't have enough time to change my calendar. So I have to reschedule, but they were very understanding. And I sell mostly annuity, long-term care, and life insurance. Um, I think within 45 days, it was only 4 clients, and I made $55,000 in commission. Um, yeah.
So that's all I wanted to hear. Thank you very much for sharing that with me, T. Yeah, absolutely. So, moving away from the old ways of prospecting, that's what we're going to talk about in just a moment. The video will cut and then the rest of the interview will play out. But other than that, that was a quick update as to your progress. Thank you very much for joining me today, T.
So before joining the SLS framework mastermind, I was targeting a completely different target, and the time was very different. So I mainly was targeting nail salon business owners, and I would go and do walk-ins. So I will walk into the different nail salons. So in a day, like the max that I have ever walked into is maybe like five if I'm very ambitious on that day, but mostly it's like two or three is at the most that I can actually walk in and prospect. And so that's mainly has been the way that I do that. Since the pandemic, one, I couldn't do that, and two, I have a baby, and I don't want to do that anymore. I don't have time to kind of go out and meet with people and taking that risk of potentially bringing home something that would hurt my daughter. So I have to find a different way. So now I mainly do everything online. I don't even leave my house. Kind of sad in that way, but it's pretty exciting because in one day I can talk with 20, 30 people if I want to.
Ideal prospects too, right? Not just
Correct.
like, let's say you were walking down the street, it's people, but now we're actually, it's like a street full of ideal prospect, right? So it's
Yeah.
again advanced practice clinicians, and that's what I wanted to dive into next. So after you join our SLS framework mastermind, we worked really, really hard together, with our coachability aspect of the SLS framework mastermind, and of course our community. You were able to mingle with others and get some ideas there and ask good questions. And right now we're at a point of abundance, just like you said. I mean, you went from in person and all day, which is like an 8-hour workday, five maybe, ideal clients. Not all of them close, obviously. We're at 15 appointments, all done virtually from the comfort of your home. And how has that journey been? I want to talk about, how you've been able to dial down who your ideal prospect, who you would consider an ideal client, and how much more easier it's been for you to practice your profession.
I would say that at first, just trying to figure out which niche I wanted to pick, that was a little bit harder because sometimes I can be too vague, too specific, and things like that. So we play around a lot with that at the beginning. And then I just decided that I was just going to go with it and then just kind of stick with that particular one. It makes it a lot easier because everything is automated. I spent that time, I think it was like 5 days or something, so a whole week, kind of write out what is it that I wanted to say, all my messaging, and then all of my subsequent messages if for them, and then I put all of that into automation. It just make it easier. And then I also have when they reply, I know what the reply is going to be, like because of the way that the messaging works, there's only so many ways that they can reply, and
Mhm.
then I have messages on top of that, so then that also saves time,
Mhm.
that I don't have to just sit there and think about new replies all the time.
So you were able to craft basically the nerve striking messages that basically to show those advanced practice clinicians that you're passionate about helping them and making it a no-brainer for them to hop on a call with you. And like, can you tell us a bit more about how that automation setup has been? I mean, especially with that, I mean, very interesting win that you shared with us on in the community. You went on vacation for a week and then you came back and your calendar was packed. Can you tell us a bit more about, how that work we put on the front end of preparing nerve striking messages, quote unquote marketing messages to get people to reach out to you? How efficient has that been for you in your practice?
Well, I think that is pretty efficient in the fact that I don't look at anything for a week, and I came back with a packed schedule. So to me, I thought that that was really good because usually normally if I go on vacation, it would take me, if I take 1 week off of vacation, I need at least 3 weeks just to kind of ramp everything back up and get back to normal. And here I didn't really, I don't feel like I missed a beat. Because I felt like even when I'm on vacation, my automation is doing all the work for me. So then I came back and I continue working, so I don't feel like I'm actually like I don't feel guilty for being on vacation and spending time with my family,
Mhm.
because I put in that work and something is working, just not
Mhm.
me.
So before, if you were to go see a nail salon, you knew that if you stopped and went to pick up your daughter from daycare, you're not prospecting. Whereas now, you could take a week off and you're still prospecting. So that's and where you said, you came back, you had about 15 appointments booked. Half of those are going to second and third meetings. And I'm curious to know, what do you think, with the automation setup and you getting those meetings automatically, with prospecting efforts, what do you think really attracts advanced practice clinicians to reach out to you and want to work with you? How come has worked so well for you?
Um, I never really thought about it. I don't know what message that they see that they wanted to reach out. I mean, it's working, so I don't really
What
ask
are you
questions.
hearing on the calls? What are you when you hop on the calls? What are you hearing from them?
Um, well, mostly they're just very open. They're very curious as to see what I can do to kind of help them reach their financial goals. Um, and that's basically it. Is they wanted to see what I have that they don't already know, and because I am working specifically with them and not anyone else, so I felt like there's a credibility there, there's authority there that no one else is providing. Like I'm
Mhm.
not providing to the masses. I'm just specifically just serving the advanced practice provider, and so they feel like they can be heard.
Mhm. So you're not doing anything, like you're not doing backflips, you're not doing anything crazy, but
Right.
just because of the fact that you're saying, hey, um, I only help people like you, I only help advanced practice clinicians like you, achieve, their financial dream, retire earlier, etc. People are just it just becomes a no-brainer for them to reach out to you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, T, I appreciate you sharing that with us. It's been a tremendous journey, and I guess that's what we shared. One of your wins is the fact that you took a week off and you couldn't skip a beat. So that's really great. And what would you say to another investment advisor, insurance advisor, financial service professional who's on the edge of joining the SLS framework mastermind, who's still maybe in the flesh, and maybe, hey, it's COVID's dying down, and the flesh is going to come back up, and no, I'm not going to go virtual. What would you say to someone who's maybe on the edge of going fully virtual or maybe partially virtual?
Well, I don't think that it would hurt, right, to have something working on the background because I'm hopefully planning on going back out there again because I did enjoy seeing people, but because I need this to be like I need COVID to be completely under control for me to be able to do that. And I feel like even if I'm going out there in the flash again, I still would have this automation in the background because I could only do so much with my 2 feet, right? Like I could only meet so many people and I can still come back with other opportunities. And because of the automation and because I'm reaching out to other states, I'm meeting with people that normally I would never get to meet in person. I target mostly right now from LinkedIn. I don't do any other marketing besides LinkedIn. And a lot of these people I would not have met in person, even if I try. But then what they were able to do is I get referrals from them to meet all the people that are not on LinkedIn. So, so I feel like I get more work done in less amount of time. So and I feel like if I reach my goals, I can then just, even if I take a break, even if I say I want 2 to 3 days off just to spend time because my daughter is sick and or because I want to take her out, I don't have to worry. Like my business is not stopping. It's working in the background for
Mhm.
me. It's the cheapest assistant that I ever paid that did exactly what I wanted to do. So I have hired assistant in past. It costs a lot of money and they don't actually do the work that I asked them to do. And this one do all the work that I need is to do and exactly how I wanted it. It's really hard to get people to do exactly what I want.
And then that's why there's the movies, I, Robot, or Yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
movies. Hey, you never know. Robots gonna take over. But yeah, T's referring to the, the automation softwares that we teach our students to use to automate some of the sales processes. And T, I appreciate you for hopping on for today. And that's
Hmm.
pretty much it. That's what I wanted to ask.
Okay, sure.
Thanks for your time.